So I just got back, okay, no, let me rephrase that. Okay, I got back like a week ago from Scentsy family reunion in Austin, Texas. That's right. It was a fantastic time. I have to say overall, it was an amazing experience. I absolutely took so much away from the experience that I have so much to share with you. I've been writing down ideas like crazy in my notebooks. I've been making notes everywhere in my phone, on the computer. I've started writing some blogs. I've got stuff. So I figured it was time that I just started like expelling it and getting it out. So that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna talk about the SFR hangover because it's real and it really does exist. And I'm gonna break that down for you and talk about some things that I'm doing in my business right now post reunion. So without further ado, ready, get set, let's go. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I feel so refreshed. I talk about it a lot that we have to fill up our cup, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. In order to be able to give the most of ourselves to, whether it's our customers, whether it's our sales, whether it's pushing our limits, right? Or whether that's just being a good person in general, to be able to give more of ourselves to our family, to our friends, to everybody, we have to have a full cup. And I talk about this a lot. And I think you guys know by now, self-care in my world is like, boom, numero uno. It has to be done. And Scentsy Family Reunion is a really great example of that because as a wise man once told me, Chuck Thompson, that you have to reignite your fire. So think of it, the way he explains this analogy to me is to think of it as a campfire, right? So you've got the campfire, you've lit it, it's beautiful, right? You're doing your smos, you're doing your thing, right? So you're doing your thing, but what happens if you don't feed that fire? If you don't feed the fire, it starts to die, right? It starts to die, it starts to go down. And so being able to attend a big event like Scentsy Family Reunion or the World Tour that we do in the spring, for people like myself, we do leadership retreats, things like that, ways that you can kind of fuel that fire, right? You have to keep that fire going. You have to be able to feed it. And if you're not feeding your fire, then I can tell you one of two things is probably happening. One, you're either getting bored and you're just like, I don't know if this is really for me anymore. Or two, you're getting burned out, right? Like you are literally like the hamster in the wheel just spinning and you feel like you're getting nowhere. So it's probably one of those two things. So we really have to make sure our cup is full and we have to pour into that self-care. So as I've been decompressing, as I've just kind of been unwinding from family reunion and really just getting through the hangover of it all. So I have, of course, my amazing notebook. I filled this baby with lots of notes while I was there. Like I said, I have a ton of takeaways from family reunion, and I did share the video of my perspective. So it's a lot of, well, for those of you who are Scentsy fanatics, it's a lot of really like an in-depth look at what reunion looks like, right? So we've got giveaways, we've got guest speakers, we've got keynotes, we've got the product releases that they do, all the things. And there's a few parts if you actually watch the whole thing, which is pretty darn long. It's a little over an hour and a half, so you know, spoiler alert, you may want to grab popcorn and a drink and go to the bathroom first, but you'll probably hear me squealing out in joy because there's a couple parts in that I was honestly like completely blown away at what Scentsy was giving us, and those are like the high points, right? But really what we take away from a big event like this, even if you cannot go, hopefully your leaders or those people who are in your tribe, you're really reaching out to them and you're kind of really soaking in pieces and the knowledge and the nuggets that they took away. So I hope that you're able to do that. If not, come to this channel. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. But I've kind of been unpacking. Now, figuratively, I actually did that literally the moment I walked in the door. I'm not one of those people who can live out of a suitcase. So it drove me insane to live out of a suitcase for 4 days because I couldn't really unpack. Long story. But being able to just come home, and I literally unpacked right away. I got everything put away, got the laundry done, everything right. So boom, 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 I'm home. Now I need to start unpacking me, right? And I came back, got sick, had to do some testing for some of my health issues going on. So I just had to kind of really restart, right? So it really was a hangover of some sorts, if you want to look at it that way. And so unpacking, of course, all of my notes, all of my takeaways, kind of really pulling those things back into perspective of what I took away, because it's really easy when you're in the moment, whether it's at a big family reunion / convention like this, or if it's just doing a training or a one-on-one with a leader or a mentor, things like that, right? In the moment, you're there, I hope. You're there and you're tuned in, you're dialed in, but what happens like a week later? If you're not really putting those things into action, if you're not putting them to use, what happens, right? They just kind of fall to the wayside. And you can tend to forget the takeaways, right? I'm really not putting anything into action. So we want to make sure that we are putting things into action this year. 2019 is the year, people. So no limits to what we can and cannot do. So I've got my notes there. We did get to hear, I told you guys if you've been following along, James Clear, his newest book is Atomic Habits. This book literally changed my life. I have already read this book once. I've got lots of highlighting notes in this book and notes in the sides because it was just so impactful to me. And so getting to hear him speak, it was so great. It was so great to be able to hear that and just kind of reinforce that. So I also have the book out because I pulled it back off the bookshelf. I am totally unpacking that as well. Now, of course, when it comes to unpacking, what did we get at reunion? We got a ton of giveaways. Scentsy spoils us when we go to family reunion. They spoil us. We are the spoiled children. And it's really, really great because this year especially they opened the store. So we got to kind of shop, which can be dangerous. It can be dangerous because for one, you want to buy all the things, right? Oh, it's the store, right? That's where it all is. You want to buy all the things. The problem with that is that you also, for some of us, most of us, we had to fly home. So anything that I bought, I had to really keep in mind, is this going to fit in my suitcase? Yeah. So the struggle was real. So I did bring back some good stuff. I really did. I got a lot of supplies. I got a lot of fun stuff. Okay, so I'm starting all of that journey. And I am gonna spoil you one little bit with a little spoiler here. This is the new Scentsy fragrance flower. It's awesome. Yeah, we were spoiled with this in a giveaway. But what this is, how this works, is you get a bottle. I don't want to pull this out too far, but there's a wick there, right? You can see that. You just put it in there. This was the scent Luna, which I was looking for like a sticker, but I know it was Luna. And it was a scent of Luna, and what it does is these aren't like regular petals. I can't remember the exact, but the oil infuses directly into them. This thing smells amazing. I've had it right here on my desk ever since I got back. So that was like one of the very first things that I pulled out of my backpack or my suitcase and unpacked when I got home. And I put it out here on my desk. And let me just say, in my office space, it totally has filled the office space. So Fragrance Flower, one of our new fragrance delivery systems, this thing is absolutely insane about how awesome it is. The other cool part is that you actually can use this for 60 days or maybe even longer. I'm gonna see exactly how long this scent continues to stay and last here in my office. But once it's gone, and then you buy a new one, and it's just absolutely it's just absolutely beautiful anyway, just for the pure look of it here on your desk. But back when I was in the corporate world and I was working in corporate, I couldn't have a warmer at my desk, right? That was frowned upon, right? There's rules, regulations, things couldn't do. But one of these things is going to be perfect for your workspace. So if you aren't familiar yet with our new fragrance flower, I highly suggest that you get familiar with our fragrance flower. All right, see, I totally got off topic. All right, so we're gonna talk about unpacking, and we're talking about unpacking all of the things, all the takeaways. So here are my top three tips of what you can do, and you can kind of implement these things whether or not you actually went to reunion or not. Okay, so I want to include everybody in this scope in this video. So I don't want to leave anybody behind. No consultant left behind. All right, you can probably say that science says it's true. I don't know. I know it works for me. So I don't know. You want to pull out some scientific data, you can go ahead and use your Google machine and you can figure it out. But taking the time to actually write things down helps you actually commit things to memory. Because let me just shed a little bit of light here for you very briefly and tell you that our brains are dumb. Our brains are dumb. They believe whatever they want to believe. We have to tell them what is true and what is not, right? Have you ever heard of like a daily affirmation, right? I will do my exercises today. I will take 30 minutes to myself and have some self-care today. I will be fantastic at that interview that I'm going to later on. Whatever that is, right, that we're gonna tell ourselves, we're telling ourselves that because our brains are stupid. We have to tell our brains these things so we then believe these things. So the actual action of writing something down helps your brain to see it. It helps it to really keep it and really help it soak it up, kind of like that fragrance flower, okay? It's really gonna soak up that knowledge. So the first thing that I want you guys to do, if you went to reunion especially, I want you to go ahead and keep, and hopefully when you were there, you did take some notes. Not all of us are amazing note takers. I will say that, yeah, I was distracted for some good portions. So the very first thing that I want you to do is I want you to actually take this book or however it was that you wrote down your notes, and I want you to actually, whether it's in your planner, your agenda, your computer, whatever it is that you use as your tool for kind of your brain dump session, as I like to call them. I kind of use my bullet journal and my notebooks. But I really want you to take about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, no more than that really, to just really kind of go through maybe what you wrote down, or even if you took video, rewatch some of that video, right? What were some of the takeaways? Write those things down. Right? Maybe some things that really stood out to you, and really just take a moment to just kind of brain dump it out on paper. It doesn't have to be in complete sentences. You can draw pictures if you want, whatever makes you feel good and happy about it, right? But the whole point is to actually just get it down. You want to get it down in a centralized location. And for some of you, it may just still be remaining in this workbook, and that's okay, right? Fill up these pages that you didn't use and just keep this, and this is a really great place to kind of store all of that. If you did not attend reunion, then hopefully, like I said, your leaders or your mentors or this YouTube channel or others are hopefully giving you some insights as to what we got to experience. So again, find that place where you're gonna brain dump all that stuff, the takeaways that you're gonna do. Have that moment, take that space, take that time, and write it down, because again, we gotta tell our brains this. Now, the number 2 step that we're going to talk about today, about kind of coming down from that reunion high or that reunion hangover, however you want to look at it, is we really want to put some goals together. And hello, what did Jacqui get to present on? I got to talk about action planning when I was at family reunion. So I did get the privilege of talking to an amazing room full of people. If you were in that room, please comment below. But I got to really talk to them about really implementing an action plan. And an action plan is something that doesn't have to be like for this big grand scheme, right? Like your main goal. It can be broken down into smaller goals. But again, hopefully after reunion or after soaking up this knowledge, you're walking away from this experience with some sort of a new goal, whether that's to promote to the next title, whether that's to start making X amount of money every single month, whether that's to grow your team, right? To be able to work from home, XYZ, right? Fill in the blank. What is that goal that you're walking away from reunion or the experience of reunion and you're like, this is what I want to happen by the end of the year, right? So by the end of the year, what do you want to see? Where do you see yourself in your business? So I want you to write an action plan for that. So that's taking the time to actually write down, one, where you are realistically, okay? So you can't fool yourself and be like, oh yeah, I'm exactly where I want to be. None of us are exactly where we want to be. At least I hope not. Because even if we are at the top of the company, we still want to aim higher, okay? So keep that in mind. So I want you to aim for your goal, and then I want you to figure out what are the steps that are going to be needed to get there, right? And if it's a title, right? If you're looking to promote to a certain title or just the next title, then you already know the steps that you need to actually get there, right? It's either X number of sales, recruiting X number of people, right? Whatever that looks like. So you know those steps, so you gotta write down those steps. And then what I want you to do is focus in on those steps. What do you need to do to make those steps happen? What do you need to do to recruit? If it's 2 more people that you need to add to your team, what do you need to do that? How do you do that? So you need to break those down. And then you really need to really create that focus statement, okay? Your focus statement should kind of take all of that, take your goal, take your steps, and really lay it out into one big sentence. And I want you to then take that, whether it's on a notebook paper, whether it's on pretty paper, whether it's on scrapbook paper, whether it's on toilet paper, however you've written it, I want you to write it, and then I want you to put it somewhere where you're gonna look at it every single day. Every single day, I want you to look at this action plan, because you can make an action plan. And by being able to have a plan of attack, so to speak, of what you want to attack, what you want to accomplish, the power is going to be in your hands. Number three in all of this is accountability. I'm gonna throw it out there. You have to give yourself accountability. I can write these things all day, people. I can fill a notebook with random words. But does that make something happen? No. We need to find ourselves some accountability partners. Hopefully your tribe, if you know what I'm talking about, you know that tribe. Those are your people, right? They're gonna be there for you. They're gonna encourage you. They're gonna want to see you continue to grow and to grow your business and your team. If not, find a new tribe. You're in the wrong tribe if those people aren't wanting to help you. So you find a new tribe. And it may look like your leader, it may look like your director, your sponsor, your upline, whoever that is. And if so, that's awesome. And I want you to tell them, this is my goal. I've written an action plan. These are the notes I took away. This is what I want to accomplish, right? I need somebody to hold me accountable. Will you hold me accountable? And find that accountability partner. Somebody who, again, is going to hold you accountable. Who you can say, I want you to check in with me and be realistic about this, okay? So don't do the overachievement thing and be like, oh, check on me every Friday, when really, in reality, you're like, yeah, this is not gonna happen on a weekly basis, right? Life is too crazy. So be like, okay, at the end of every month, I want you to check in with me, okay? So hold me accountable once a month. Maybe it's the beginning of the month, end of the month, whatever. Hold me accountable, whether that's by email, text, Marco Polo, whatever you need to do, right? So set rules here, but we need to hold each other accountable. And then you need to say, contact me here, and make sure that I'm making that promise to myself come true, right? I am holding that promise to myself. I am working that action plan. And if I'm not, I want you to say, Jacqui, look at your action plan again. And I want you to make sure that I understand I've made this promise to myself. So those are the 3 things that I really want you to unpack as we unpack from Scentsy Family Reunion and the experience. Like I said, even if you didn't get to go there, that's okay. That's okay. Because we are all in this business together, right? We're not in competition with one another. We are all here to see each other succeed. We are all here for a why. We're all here for a purpose. So we want to be able to really put these things into action. Because when you're able to put these things into action, when you're able to actually see those successes happen, the sky's the limit, you guys. The sky is the limit. And we honestly have no limits. We have no limits when it comes to what we want to achieve, what we want to do, and really what we want at the end of the day. What do we want this to look like at the end of the day? All right, guys, continue your unpacking. I'm gonna come back to you soon. We're gonna talk about this some more. We're gonna break down some more of the training. And we're really gonna be talking a lot about being able to succeed and what success looks like, because it looks different for everybody. So be watching for my upcoming videos. If you aren't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that bell. Make sure you're getting those notifications when the new videos come out. And if you went to reunion, I wanna know. I wanna know. All right, y'all have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Until then, peace, love, happiness. Bye.